Hello, John Britt here. Today we're going to show you how to make plates. What I got here is like a sample of plates that I've made, and I'm going to show you a method to use these bats to use it. That's the most important thing, is that you use a plaster bat, because a regular like a plastic bat here or a wooden bat, it's very hard to get the wire to come through without it arcing up. So what this bat does, it helps it to release. So first thing you have to do is buy this from Pure and Simple Molds. It's a company that sells plastic molds that you can just keep making more of them out of plaster. So I'll pour plaster in here, you know, fill it up with plaster, and then I'll push this down on there, smash it down. When it comes out, it'll be like this. Then I glue one of these onto my wheel, my bat, like that. And then come over here and you can see how here's my wheel that I put on this is like the chuck that I put on my wheel. Okay, so we'll start here. I'm going to take this, put it on, and then I will put that down. I'm going to try to show the throwing and the trimming all at one time here, right after this. Okay, so I'm going to try to center this a little bit, and then what I do is I just push down sort of incrementally. I just like keep pushing here into the wheel. There's many ways to do it, whichever way is best for you. Just ease on out. Sometimes I used to go like this. I used to come down and move out like this with a sponge in my hand like that. That worked pretty good. Anyway, you figure out how to do it. Now what I try to do is I use the wheel as a standard. So I'll come out here all the way with my clay, and then I'll lift it. You'll see in a second. But that's the way I don't have to do a lot of measuring, because I use that as my measurement. Okay, so my last pull out here, I'm going to come to this edge. Then I usually take a rib like this. This is a very large MKM rib, and I just hold it the whole span. Sometimes I can even put my finger out here and push against it like that. Gets me out there. So I would mess with that a bunch. It's good to press down. You can also just have a regular rib and press like a metal rib like this. Okay, then what I do is I come here with my little wooden tool and I'll push it under here like this. Usually what I do is I make a mark where my finger will go, and then it's always the same. And then I will try to lift it more up, then out. I want to try to come in, come up, smooth out this edge the way I want it to be, and then I can start to lay it down a little. Now you can also come in at this point and work on cleaning this up real good. And then right when I'm ready to finish, I will put a little swirl in there. That makes it have some action. And then I'll just lay this edge down to where I want it to be. And then, you know, you can decide, do you want a line there, or do you want to just leave it smooth, whatever you want. Okay? So that's going to involve that's going to involve like thinking. Like see these plates. So how high do I want this to be? Do I want it glazed? How high do I want this rim to be? You know, do I want it a little more flat? Do I want it unglazed on the bottom? And that's a smaller height there. So those are the things you do. And you got to think about all that before you start. And then we'll put, then after I've let this dry, this will pop right off. It just pops right off. and it's pretty dry. Usually I'll let it sit for a day so that it really evens up. I'll turn it over. I'll turn it over and let it sit on the table sort of like this for a day, and then I'll start my trimming. Put it on this foam bat. I'm not going to worry. And then what I try to do is, first just smooth it out a little, sort of get there's like a harder area on the surface. And I'll cut that off. And then what I try to do is the same way. I'll use my rib as kind of a measuring tool. So I know say it had to be that big, I would stop there. Try to make my trimming mark. And I left enough at the bottom that I should have, about a ½ inch under there, so I can really get a decent depth of a foot here. And so you can, kind of cut in and define that, or you can come in here too and try to define that. Sometimes I'll then come back under here and do a little more. What you try to do is get your form established, get a rhythm with as few movements as possible. Do your trimming. Let me show you the finished product here on some of these. Like this foot, I've carved a double ring, so in case it tries to slump when you're firing it, that helps it when you have a long expanse. Okay, I think that's good. Give that a try and then make 300 of those, and we'll see you tomorrow.